What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Livolti back with our daily Apple update video where we do a quick analysis on the Apple stock, take a look at how it traded today, and then what the future for Apple could look like based on some of those levels. So real quick, if you enjoy these, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. I try to do these videos on a daily basis, and comment down below if you are in Apple or what you think the future for Apple could look like. So take a look at, let me just hit the one-day chart and taking a look at, how Apple traded today. A little bit of a gap up, right? And then we went down, and then we were above VWAP, and then we basically didn't look back, right? We were pretty strong, tested it here, went up, came back and tested it. Basically went up and down between above and below the VWAP. Eventually breaking above VWAP, pushed all the way to 117, came down, came up, and then kind of ended on a down candle. This is on the 1-day, 1-minute chart. Now, Apple was up $1.55 today, which is 135 basis points, 1.35%. Comparing that to the NASDAQ, it was up 0.64%. The Dow was down 234 points, which is down 0.84%. And S&P was down 1.17, $1.17, which is 0.34%. So Dow's down, S&P's down, NASDAQ is up slightly. Apple is up, almost more than 2 times NASDAQ, which is great relative strength as we were sort of expecting going into earnings. Earnings for Apple are this Thursday. Earnings for Microsoft are today, and they just beat on Azure sales, outpacing kind of what they thought would be their cloud growth, which is great news. So hopefully that continues some of the optimism into the market. But taking a look at kind of Apple and what beyond this 1-day chart, what it could look like for Apple. So taking a look at the last 5 days, what we saw was last week there was a lot of sell-off, right? And then we hit 112.88. That was yesterday, and then we've been on a decent rally up kind of into earnings week. Now, taking a look at the daily chart, what we have here is, initially we had been drawing this line down, and I had talked about, every day we were making highs that were lower than the day before's. Now, yesterday, we saw, so the numbers are here. This O means overall high, low, close. Open, high, low, close, sorry. And so what we see here is if we take a look at yesterday's high, it's 116.55, and we take a look at the high before, it was 116.55. But any day below that, as we go back, we see that there were higher highs, right? Which meant that we were making lower highs as we were moving along, which is not a good sign, right? We want to see the stock push up, not fail to basically meet the high point of yesterday. Today is the first day that, we kind of see yesterday's high being 116.55, today's high being 117.28. Now, it's too early to kind of say, hey, have we reversed trends? But it's sort of starting to move in the right direction. I personally would like to see that happen for another day or two before kind of officially saying, okay, yeah, we've reversed trends and we're now making higher highs. But we did do that today, which is great news. We made both a higher high and a higher low. So if I were to start drawing this out, it would look like the low point from yesterday to the low point of today, and then the high point of yesterday to the high point of today. As long as we continue making a higher high, right? Ideally a higher low, a higher high, higher low. But if we keep making a higher high, great news for the stock as we push into earnings. Now, let's take a look at some key indicators that I look at, and then we'll kind of take a look at sort of key levels for the Apple stock that I've sort of personally been watching. So let's take a look at the moving averages, right? Our moving average comes in at 117.08 for the 20-day moving average, and then 117.47 for the 50-day moving average. So 117.08, 117.47. Now let's go back to our daily chart. Let me get rid of the indicators. 117.07 and 117.28. So kind of right here, right here. 117.07 is right here, and then 117 up here, right, which we weren't able to get to. So we were able to get above the 20-day moving average, but not the 50-day moving average. So something to just keep in mind as we sort of push towards that. Excuse the interruption, my camera just stopped recording because I ran out of space, but we're back. So yeah, as I was saying, if we can capture that, 20-day moving average again in the 117s and then push towards the 50-day moving average, something to look out for. And then taking a look at the EMAs, what we see here is, taking a look at the 8 EMA at 116.52. So right now we're really close to that, which is great for the stock. We're riding that 8 EMA. The 21 EMA is right next to it at 116.55. And then we've got some more EMAs down there at the 115.86 with the 34 EMA. And then I've been saying this over and over again, but the 55 EMA at in the 113s can be good support, since we also have a lot of, support coming from like a previous support level technical analysis perspective in the 113s, right? This horizontal line we have at 112.72, not an exact line, right, but kind of a general area that we found support before. So great support down there. In terms of, what are the next levels we have to hit, right? So as I mentioned yesterday, I'm looking for us to beat the highs that we've set in previous days. So here we've got 116.55 that we broke. 118.04 is something to beat. Then it's 118.71 and 118.98, right? Not exactly like, okay, I think those are going to hold up as hard resistance, but just points to look out for to make sure that we're able to break through them. What I see, let me just do the 1 hour chart, since that's what I like to look at from sometimes when I'm doing my analysis on how the stock is trading, and I'll get rid of the indicator here. But what I see is, if we go all the way, kind of for the month of October, right? What I see are sort of three key levels, right, that Apple stock has had a lot of consolidation around and could be, either exit points or points that we think a little bit, right? Maybe Apple stock is going up, it kind of stops and then moves up or pushes down based on whether people sell out or continue holding. So I'll draw these three lines. So the first horizontal line is at 117. I drew it at 116.99. Oh, whoops, let me redo that. Sorry about that, guys. 117, close enough. Okay, 116.99. And the reason I do that is because there was a lot of consolidation happening here around the 117 mark, right? And, kind of developing a similar pattern here that we have around the 117 mark. The next mark that I will talk about is the 119 mark, which is right here, 119.02. Not perfect again, right? I'm not able to get to 119, but 120. Yeah. So the reason I point out these three lines is because that's kind of what I'm watching out for. I know there's a lot of lines on the graph right now, but around the 117s we had a lot of consolidation. Around the 119s we had a lot of consolidation, and then 120, 150s we had a lot of consolidation happening in previous times. So those are kind of the three levels that I'm looking out for. We did kind of break 117 today. We weren't able to close above it though, so I'm still looking out for that level. And then the one after that would be the 119s, and then 121.5s. How strong we do depends on a lot of things, right? Depends on the overall market. I think stimulus is pretty much over at this point, right? The hopes of a stimulus before the election. Coronavirus cases are on the rise, which is again going to bring uncertainty into the market, in my opinion, as we sort of move deeper into flu season. And then the other thing is Microsoft has their earnings today. Like I said, they beat their earnings, but it's a matter of, are the tech companies going to continue beating earnings, which is sort of the expectation. And with a lot of companies reporting on Thursday, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, I think, AMD maybe sometime this week, right? That could bring a lot of momentum into the stocks. I don't necessarily think that just because they beat earnings, right, we're going to see huge rallies, because everyone's sort of expecting that at this point, right? That was a surprise when it happened the first time, but now we're sort of expecting it to happen. So I don't think we see, rallies, but it could bring, good momentum into the stock. On the other side of that, if a company does not beat their earnings, though, it could mean, a bit of a sell-off or down day for that company. So, just again, be careful. We have elections coming up in a week. just something to be careful and trade around a lot of uncertainty, and manage your position sizes and so on. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop that like, subscribe to my channel. I try to do these videos on a daily basis, and then comment down below if there are any sort of questions or trades you've taken on, or how you kind of stand with Apple or any other stock that you want to talk about. Drop it in the comment section below. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Apple update video tomorrow. Until then, hope you guys are having a great week so far. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.